At a new location today, at pole position in Wolverhampton, up here with a couple of academy members, and we're trying to sort their cars out today. And as it's a new dyno to me, trying to get my head around the new software and explore what this dyno can do for us. So pretty cool setup, really funky lights. This is Kev's car. Kev's in the back hiding. And we're going to be mapping this and getting the car set up. So we're just going to give it a base run on the existing file that's on there, just to see where we're at, see what the boost is doing, see what the air-fuel ratio is doing most importantly, and then take it from there. Just pop it onto the high boost map. As you can see, I've got the data login set up on here. Both of us have got deck cams on. Mine are down there, I'll put those on in a minute. And I've got the screen in front of me showing me what's going on. Right, should be able to hear me just. Okay, so that's what that run produced, power-wise, 340, but that's not what we're interested in. What we're interested in is the fact that the air-fuel ratio from about 5,500 goes up to nearly 13 to 1, so not safe. Didn't continue doing a full run. Boost is fine, but it's just too lean. So we'll make some changes to the map. Right, so that should be picking up my voice on there. Yeah, right, cool. So I've got the map here. So if I open up the I'm just going to record the screen as well. So this is the fuel map. So I'm just going to, above 5,500 is where it got really lean. So I need to take that down the whole AFR point. So rather than aiming for, rather than getting 13, I want to be in the 11s. So if I bring that down to maybe 10.4, and it's a bit below 5,500, still a little bit too lean. But I want to bring that down probably half a point, so I'll bring that down on here to around that. I'm recording the screen as well, so it's just blend that out a bit, copy that, because we're on Carberry on this car. I'll just copy it onto the other map. So that should correct the fueling. That'll give us enough to do a full run. Right. So I've put the test mode connector on and the plug connector is in there. It's flashing file on. So it's recording the data log. Cool. Right. Thank you very much. Fucking annoying. Alright, that was a low boost run because I forgot to switch the switch. You can see that it made a difference on the air-fuel ratio, so that's good. So you can see now the air-fuel ratio is along the right sort of lines. Might richen it up a little bit. The light blue trace at the bottom there. And then we'll start getting some power back. Okay, so fueling, probably want to add a little bit more fuel. So if I go into this table here, just richen the whole lot up a little bit. Not much, but just a little bit. Copy that into map 2. Boost seems to be pretty steady. I lifted up before the absolute limit on that one, but for the moment the boost is fine. If I have a look at the ignition timing, see whether we can do something on that. So at the moment there isn't an awful lot of ignition timing at the point where it's peak power. So there's potential to add timing to the whole of this area. So if I chuck in an extra 2 degrees in there, showing an extra 2 there, and that should bring our power up. Smooth these out. Save that and we'll put that back onto the car. I must press that button this time. It's behaving now. front we got 339, but with safe fueling, so almost the same power as originally, but the fueling's much safer. Right, so if I come out of that, let's clear that graph down. So this is the air fuel ratio now that we're seeing, you know, sort of mid to high 11s. Probably want to bring that down a little bit more, but it's nice and smooth all the way. Getting a little bit leaner than it ought to be up around the rev limit. But if we bring this down so that it's below this dotted line here, I'll just do that across the board. It's probably easier, probably add a 3 or 4%, and that should do that. Looking at the power and the torque, peak power is at about 6,000. On that last run I had 2 degrees of extra timing. I think, to be honest, looking at the data, we could probably add a little bit more, and that should bring this power curve up, all the way up, obviously with an increase on the torque as well, which would be nice. And I'll see if I can smooth out this boost here, so it's just kind of dropping a little bit at 6,500. If I can hold that a little bit better, I think that'll be a much better setup. So I'll make some changes and we'll try again. Right, I'm going to add some ignition timing to this, see if we can bring this power up. So if I come into the base ignition timing, let's try adding a chunk all the way across the board. So that should have gone up about 2 degrees. Okay, so added 2 degrees in the whole of that section. Get rid of that, copy it to the second map. Gonna richen it up just a bit. Again, across the board. Copy that to the other map as well. And I want to try and bring that boost up at the top there. So the target, that's the low boost one. Target was just dropping down at the top there. Let's see if we can hold that 22. See whether that makes a difference. Obviously we need to give it some headroom on the wastegate duty to do that. Wrong one. So might need to force that a bit more. Copy that to the initial one, and then I'll take out 10. That's done. See what I did there? Yeah. Give it a name. Don't know why it does that. Didn't used to do that. There must be something on this laptop. It's just not liking. So we've had another 2 degrees across the board. That should nudge the power up, probably 10 horsepower up from where we're at. And hopefully we'll just hear the start of detonation, hopefully. I'll put the microphone in my headphones so that I can pick it up if it does. Right, that's done. High boost. Right. Pop that in there, that should pick it up. So you're actually inside the deck cans now, so you should be able to hear what I hear during that run. No debt. So it went up. Peaks went up a little bit, but not a huge amount. But the fueling's bang on that dotted line, 11.5. Beautiful. So that extra fuel is obviously costing some power, but the extra timing has given some back. So we'll try and add a bit more time in, see if it will go up. If it won't, it won't. If it will, it will. I don't think there's any more boost to be had. Right, so fueling is perfect. That is recording, yep. Fueling's perfect. There is no more boost to be had. Yeah, there might be a little bit. Let's try all of the boost. See whether that will force it to hold a little bit more up there. But let's see whether we can make any extra from the ignition timing. So it's a bit smoother. smoother, a bit more ignition. Load that on and we'll go again. Cool. Wanted to start detting a little bit. Right, you're in the deck cams again now. Hopefully you'll hear just the start of detonation on this run. Got to 351 horsepower, 325 pounds-foot of torque. Still not hearing any detonation, so I'm going to add some more ignition timing whilst Kev holds the camera for me. Still recording. I'm not hearing any det at all anywhere. So let's bring all of this up. Right, so that's up another 2 degrees. That should make it detonate. Not only do I want to hear it detonate so that everyone can know what it sounds like, I want to make sure that the ECU is making some corrections just in case it does hear it. So if it hears it and it does nothing about it, then that's a bit of a concern. It's random when that does that. This will probably be the last run, and then we'll make some changes to the drivability. and then do another run. Still didn't hear any dirt. Calculation was about, so that was the injector size times 0.75 and then by whatever the duty was, so 76%. Cool, right, let's clear that graph off. Switch the fan off. God, that's noisy. I didn't hear any debt on that. I think that's probably enough. Alright, so this is where we got to. 374, 338 pounds-foot of torque. Fuel ratio, lovely. Just as it gets up towards the limiter there, then things are going on. Standard map on this. We're going to do a run now. Still sharp. It's not that. It's really not that. Yeah, it's showing 436 horsepower. It's really not 436. Don't know what's going on there. That's just a bit random. Just with the base map, standard base map, changes to the car are TD06 Arashi Turbo. Not one of the turbos that I would recommend, but it's actually working not too bad actually. So reasonably impressed with that. According to the dyno, it's showing 407 horsepower, which is more than the standard injectors can cope with. If I spin it around, you can see the graph. What you're seeing is it going lean from about sort of 5,000 upwards, but the runs are very quick here, so didn't have a chance to catch it before I got to the top, but there was no deck going on. So the job, as far as the map is concerned, is making some changes to make it safer until it can fit some bigger injectors, which is what I'll do now. So yeah, we've got too much boost. So at the moment this is on the standard map. It's looking for this sort of level, but the actuator is pretty strong. So I'm going to ignore that at the moment and just bring it down to wastegate pressure all the way. So max duty at 0. Bring the initial duty down to 0 as well. And just as a fail safe, put that down to 0 as well. Just to see whether that brings it under control as far as fueling is concerned. Cool. It is running out of fuel badly. So it's all right. The air fuel ratio on here is all right up until 5.9, but beyond that it starts getting super lean. Like 13 and a half. But at that point it's already well over 100. It can't add any more fuel. But the issue might be that's hitting a maximum on the mass airflow. So that's wastegate pressure. That's hitting 1.4 bar. You get some bigger injectors in there, it's gonna fucking fly. I know that. 1050 is best. Yeah. Right, so I'm going to put the MAF limit up, chuck that up to 500, see whether that's having any impact. See if there's any way we can add any more fuel up there. I doubt it. They're fine, yeah, absolutely. Add a little bit of fuel down the bottom here. Okay. I still don't believe that power figure. Were you? Yeah, send it. Look at me, I'm a driving god. bringing the boost down, adding a little bit more fuel, and see if I can make it safe. Because until we get the bigger injectors in there, this is probably going to be borderline. So we'll see how it goes. I know. Perhaps that is the real sort of figure that we're talking about. It's not detted. No. There's possibly not enough fuel in there for it to actually det. So, yeah. Yeah, that's gonna go. It's 400 and something, but it's not so. And then the battery died. So this voiceover is added afterwards. So what I need to do on the map is just make some changes to put in a lower rev limit. So in the rev limit fuel cut side of things, just bring that down to limit it to a RPM where it's still safe. And because there is a potential for the boost going above the boost limits, what I want to do is to increase the boost limits just to get rid of that. So I'll bring those up to 1.6 bar, 2.6 bar absolute. Blend those in. Make sure it all looks good. There we go, and good to go on that. And because it's not all about making it safe, Grant wanted some pops and bangs in there as well, so I'm going to add those in now. Right, so if I go into the ignition timing maps, there's many different types of base timing maps. What I want to go into is the base timing idle minimum. And just set the value for the over 2000 RPM range to something like -10. Should give us some leeway for some sound effects. Next, once we've got an ability to run some negative timing, we want to make sure that there's some fuel in there to work with. So if we go up into the overrun fueling, we can increase these values so that fuel is added further up the rev range. Probably add it around 3,500 and below. So just bring that, equalize that across those. That should do it. Make sure that the timing minimum's there. Yep, so -10 maximum. So if we go into one of the base timing maps, I set these all the same generally. It makes no difference. So from 3,500 upwards, we want to set that to -20, or maybe -10 is enough to get some pops and bangs in there. Probably a little bit lower down there is at 3,200 as well. So when you're just cruising around, it's not really going to be popping and banging, but if you're coming down from revs on the overrun, then you get some pops and bangs in it there. So if I copy all of that map with Control W and then go into the other timing maps and do a Control V into there, So that'll apply that to that one, apply it to that one, and the last one, apply it to that as well. So all the timing maps are the same, so it's running the same ignition timing regardless. Right, so I'll save that file and then we'll put it on the car and just give it a final test, just to make sure that it's happy and to make sure that the pops and bangs are working. Okay, ignition on, press OK, loads the file up, push push push. We are done. Perfect, that'll do nicely, or certainly do until Grant can get some bigger injectors in there and we can then turn it up. Turbo should do well. I take back everything I said on the Arashi turbos.